if the situation is the way he said, where there's plans already drawn up, but then the engineer's unable to affect the corrections. Now he's got to get another person
Right.
to pick up. And I don't even know if the new guy's going to say, no, I want to do my own plans. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But they put themselves in this bind. We didn't. They're the ones who built without permits. So that's my 2 cents. So they put themselves in the situation.
Let's vote it out and see where we.
Okay.
Yep.
Alseckless,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Henshaw,
No.
Wait,
No.
Wilson.
Yes,
Passes.
so that was 3-2.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, 3-2.
Alrighty. So, sir, they've given you 90 days.
Thank you.
You've got to get new plans in and get that permit approved
Correct.
within that time period,
Thank you.
okay?
All right.
Next case, please.
Item number 94, property owner North Sunrise Motel 2 LLC, investigator Monique Wadley.
Good morning. I am Monique Wadley, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, and I'm testifying in reference to Item 94, Case Number 24-13602, and this is regarding property located at 442 Fifth Avenue North, and I was sworn in at the start of this meeting. This property is a multifamily structure and is occupied by tenants. This is a codes-initiated case. The property was first inspected on July 31st, 2024, and a violation notice was sent to the owner with a compliance date of September 8th, 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March 19th, 2025, and the following violation still exists. Per the city building official, the balconies are unfit, unsafe for use. The entire second floor balcony must be blocked off and secured to prevent access and use. The first floor balcony must be blocked off with a fixed barrier until the second floor balcony is repaired with permits under the direction of a licensed engineer or architect. Temporary post shoring can be installed under the direction of a licensed engineer or architect. 0 out of 1 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail. It was posted at City Hall. It was sent certified mail. And it was also posted at the violation address on March 8th, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records, Book 17132, page 1440. My last contact with the property manager was on March 21st, 2025, and he advised he was going to get plans. He's got plans with an architect to get permits obtained. The department recommends 5 days and $250 per day thereafter for non-compliance. Additional relevant facts regarding this case is that the balcony has been replaced and repaired without permits in place. And I would like to enter into evidence as Exhibit 1 photographs which were taken on March 19th, 2025. CEB 032625-602 MW. This is just showing the elevation of the structure, and this is going to be the portion of the balcony that's been repaired. More of a close-up from all of this and through here. And this was showing in the very beginning where we posted it unfit, and you can see the unsafe structure. And then this was just showing where it was just taped off. And I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as Exhibit 2, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Wadley. Was something done upstairs to prevent an upstairs tenant from walking in that area?
Not since they've, they've repaired it, so, yeah.
Chair, if I may. And additionally, for the direction that was provided in this notice and that came straight from the building official, the second floor balcony had to be blocked off until it was evaluated by an architect or an engineer. So we recognize that they have made repairs, but there's no permanent process, and we haven't received anything from a licensed design professional regarding it. So this will continue until we have that actually evaluated by an engineer and this permitted.
Perfect. That was my next question.
Yeah, just mine too, but just to clarify, even though repairs have been affected, it's still the city's position that this is a safety issue until
Correct.
they get whatever they need from an architect or engineer saying
Correct.
it's not.
It has to be evaluated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good
Yes,
morning.
Your name and address, please.
Certainly, Tim Calandrino, 465 7th Avenue North, St. Pete, Florida, 33701. I work for the owner of the property, and
In what capacity, sir?
I'm his assistant as well as a property manager that oversees other properties for him as well. We just received notice to our office on the 8th of March, and that's when I had contacted Ms. Watley since then. We've gone ahead and contracted Lang & Fafoglia to engineer and architect the designs based on the repair that was made. The tenant decided to try and handle it on her own, which wasn't appropriate. She was trying to use a ruling of the repair being less than $500, which is, not correct as far as needing to pull a permit for it.
So it's your testimony that you never received notice back in July?
We never received notice in July. The tenant received the notice in July. I wasn't brought into this until March.
Okay. So notices, so you know, going forward, since you manage this property and others, notices are mailed to the address on record, which is the address that's in the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's office.
Mhm.
If you don't have an office address as a mailing address, then you will never receive these kinds of notices. We will give you some time to get your architect or engineer to get plans into the city, but it's been 8 months
Yeah, like I advised earlier.
that you, as a property manager or the ownership, had no idea that conditions at this property were that bad, that the tenant was making her own repairs. Does not bode well,
I can understand.
sir.
Yeah, I would just like to add, so not only did we send notice to the address of record, but this was also in an LLC. So notice went to Troy, Michigan, and also an office up on alternate 19 South in Palm Harbor. So there was mailing that went to multiple addresses that were associated with the LLC as well as what was on Property Appraiser.
Yeah, overall, it's looking like they're just not paying attention.
I had a question. So the tenant, so for 7 months, the tenant on their own was performing construction on a building, and nobody from the company was on premises for 7 months and knew that there was construction going on?
There are multiple buildings there, and that was just one factor that we didn't review. We didn't see it. We saw that the repair had been done, and the tenant had advised whoever had gone out of what she had found online with the $500 rule, which I know myself that you need to pull a permit for something like that to have it engineered and architectural drawings made up. So
But beyond
since,
the- and I
yes,
understand, but beyond the permit issue, there was a woman who was performing construction on her own
The
in the
tenant.
front of a building, and nobody knew it.
no ma'am, unfortunately,
So the tenant actually contracted for the repair?
correct.
All the repairs on the pictures we saw were done by the tenant?
From contractors that she had hired, yes ma'am. And since we've been notified of this, since I've been notified of this, we have locked the upper balcony off. I do have a lock and clasp with a key so that nobody exits onto that balcony. We've closed off the front entry as well. Looking at the construction that was done, the construction that was done was really, really good. They went ahead and they shored up the ceiling, and instead of having beams every 2 feet, they did it every foot. They also went ahead and put new 6x6 posts embedded into concrete, and new, what they do, 2x12s, 3 2x12s across the header. So the construction that was completed was actually very good work.
Hope you're going to reimburse her for it.
No, not after this. What we're asking for the designs to be complete and the engineer drawings to be done is just 30 days, since I was just brought into this.
Did the tenant send a request to anybody asking that the work be performed before she undertook it on her own?
No, not to my knowledge. My office didn't receive anything.
Well, apparently they didn't know they received code notices either,
Yeah.
so it's hard to say.
Struggling with
I have
this.
a question for the city. So the issue here, at least that we're talking about, or that's in front of us, says unsafe structure. So this gentleman has said they've cordoned it off and no one can go there, et cetera. Work's been done, that's now got to get an after-the-fact permit, I take it. Is what he's done so far put this on hold, or is it we got to wait for the permit?
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea if that work is sufficient. Obviously, there was no permits pulled for it.
So maybe let me rephrase the question. So the inspection for the work that's been done can't happen until a permit is.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, that's really what I was getting at. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Let's read something and,
I'll read something.
yeah.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code, as stated by the code's investigator, have not been corrected. The board orders North Sunrise Motel II LLC to correct the violations within 30 days or by the date of April 25th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $250 per day shall be imposed.
Need a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think that's too long.
Too long.
Realistically, though, he's got to
I
have
know.
plans drawn, it's
Yes.
got to go to the city and have a permit issued.
Yep, that
So,
was kind of my view. Doesn't,
yeah, let's vote it out and see
Sure.
where we are.
Alseklis,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Henshaw,
No.
Wait,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. All right, sir, you have 30 days.
Thank you.
Get that paperwork into the city right now.
Absolutely.
And do what you can to move your management. This is an unacceptable situation.
I totally agree. I thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 67, property owner 16th Street Investments LLC, investigator Jose Rodriguez. Yeah, 30 days, 250 a day.
I'm Jose Rodriguez, codes investigator for the city of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item number 67, case number 24-15126 regarding property located at 1040 16th Street South, and I was sworn in at this meeting. This property is a commercial structure, is occupied by tenants. This is a citizen complaint case. Property was first inspected on August 19th of 2024, and a violation notice sent to the owner with a compliance date of August 30th of 2024. Property was last re-inspected on March 18th of 2025, and the following violations still exist. Permits are required for renovations on the interior of building. 0 out of 1 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall and certified mail. Delivered by certified mail, was posted at the violation address on March 11th, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records Book 22717, page 0987. During the course of my investigation, my last contact with the general contractor was on March 12th of 2025, and the GC did not indicate when the violations will be corrected. The department recommends 25 days and $200 per day thereafter for non-compliance. Additional relevant facts regarding this case are there's an ACOM permit number 24-09000141, which is in process. The last action from the building department is ready for corrections on October 19th of 24, and as of October 28th of 2024, the fire department sent it back. The fire department said it's ready for corrections as well. And the permit itself is for demo and remodel without permits. Some of the details within the permit itself are replacing plumbing fixtures, replace all floor tiles, replace existing gas lines and fire suppression system for hood, all cosmetic. I would like to enter into evidence exhibit number 1, photographs which were taken on March 18th of 25 and October 18th of 2023, document CB031825, 126JR, and photos 1 through 3. This first photograph is an elevation of the store or the building itself. This is a previous picture of while the work was being done back in 23 of the inside of the structure. And this is another picture of the interior of the structure prior to all the work being done. I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as exhibit number 2, and this concludes my presentation.
So, Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
this actually started in 2023?
Yes, so when I took those pictures, the original pictures were in 23, yes.
Does anyone else have questions for staff?
What was the August 24th date you referenced? What did that pertain to?
It was the August 19th and August 30th. So what happened was we had original case and then it changed owners. So after it changed owners, we realized that the address changed, but the owner was the same. So that was why such a short period for compliance at that particular time.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, sir. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
I'm Justin Cook, 1103 West Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Sefner, Florida. I'm here representing the ownership on behalf of the contracting group that's handling this project. We do have a permit that is in review at the moment. We hired an engineer to highlighting the issues with life safety, MEP, structural, and a few other perspectives that are needed to be done and handled, and then it is currently submitted and sitting in review.
Okay. According to what Mr. Rodriguez said, the status of your permit is returned for correction since October of last year.
Okay, I don't have any information in regards to that, but I can definitely get with the contractor group and the interest of the owner to get that taken care of.
Okay. How much time do you need to get the permit issued?
I would imagine at least within 90 days, I believe we could have it. Probably sooner than that, but I think 90 days wouldn't be a bad buffer.
Okay. Does anyone else have questions?
I have a question. The permit, is there 2 permits?
No, ma'am, there's one permit
Just one?
in process and ready for corrections. That's the one that Mr. Rodriguez.
From back in October? Okay.
And this gentleman's representing them, but did not know that.
Know about it, yeah. Okay.
Were there any permits pulled for any of the work, or was all of this done without a permit?
I believe all of this was done without a permit. I can go back through the other permit history. There's other ones that have been closed out.
Yeah, so there was a electrical permit in 24 to replace the light fixtures in the ceiling, but that's the only other thing that I see that would be applicable to the work that was shown.
Okay.
And when did the ownership change?
It just changed in
Just address.
name, yeah, the address.
Oh, it was
Kind of
just,
one of
Not the owner.
it wasn't really an ownership
Yeah.
change. Okay.
It's been 2 years,
Okay.
almost.
I'll read something.
Sure.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the code's investigator have not been corrected. The board orders 16th Street Investments LLC to correct the violations within 45 days or by a date of May 10th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $200 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Good.
Let's vote.
Sutcliffe?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Henshaw?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes. All right, sir, the board's giving you 45 days, light a fire under whoever needs to do this and get it done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case, please.
Item 183, property owner Molly A. Krantz and Lee Rosenkrantz, investigator David Walker.
Morning. I'm David Walker, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to Item 183, Case 24-15184, regarding property located at 4400 45th Street South. I was sworn in at this meeting. This property is a single-family structure and is occupied by the owner. This is a citizen's complaint case. The property was first inspected on August 22nd, 2024, and a violation notice was sent to the owner with a compliance date of September 11th, 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March 20th, 2025, and the following violations still exist. Any person who keeps or maintains chickens, turkeys, ducks, geese, guinea fowl, or any other fowl in a resident district must obtain the written consent of the owners or occupants of any residence within 50 feet of the residence where the fowl are kept, or remove the fowl from the residential district. 0 out of 1 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, and was posted at the violation address on March 11th, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to the hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records Book 20057, page 0689. During the course of my investigation, I have not had contact with the owner. The department recommends 25 days and $100 per day thereafter for noncompliance. Additional relevant facts regarding this case are: the owner has documented her chickens and other birds and fowls on her TikTok, the first video being posted on March 15, 2023. The last video being posted on January 3rd, 2025. There are 39 videos in total. I would like to enter into evidence Exhibit 1, photographs which were taken on March 20th, 2025, documented March 2025 CB, photos 1 through 4. So right here, the 4400, and then the complainant lives right here, and the fence line is this line right here. And the chicken coop, which I'll show you, is behind the bushes over here. And then right here we have little chicken feet underneath the gate. And then this is the coop right here. This white line right here, that's the fence line. And then this is the TikTok homepage where all the videos are stored. I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as Exhibit 2.
Okay, thank you. Just because I'm not sure, is it required that all of the surrounding property owners within 50 feet agree to this? Everybody has to sign on?
Within 50 feet
Of the coop.
of the coop where it's located.
Okay.
So in this case, it's an 80-foot wide lot. It's right on the 2 bordering property lines. So if the neighbor to that one side approved it, it wouldn't matter on the other side.
So it's just the one neighbor that
Pretty
has to
much.
approve
Yeah.
within the 50 feet? Okay.
And there's no backyard neighbor?
It's waterfront property.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, ma'am, could we have your name and address for the record,
Yeah.
please?
Good morning, I'm Molly Krantz, 4400 45th Street South, St. Pete.
Okay, so you've heard the testimony and you've heard the explanation of the rules. So it sounds like you either have to convince your neighbor to like your birds or you have to get rid of them.
So we have permission from the neighbors. She changed her mind after her dog attacked one of my girls, Dizzy, and killed my Dizzy. Then she decided at that time, instead of taking responsibility for her dog trespassing onto my property, that she didn't want me to have my birds anymore. And changed her mind. That was a year and a half after having them in that same location. So, and we have written permission at the time of getting them from both neighbors on both sides.
So the complaining neighbor did agree to it, but...
Correct. Correct. So I can enter into evidence. I have a timeline of the entire process, which started in fall of 2022, where we started talking about obtaining chickens on our property and started discussions with all of the neighbors in the surrounding area, not just within 50 feet, but all of our neighbors, to talk to them about this. And all were in agreement. And then when we started moving forward in December and started talking about constructing the coop, we talked to the neighbors that complained. We talked to them again in December, said as the way that the property is aligned, that the placement on that south side of the house would be the best place for them. And again, they agreed. And at that time, the couple that lived there, they were married and they were traveling. They were getting ready to travel the world on their catamaran. So nonetheless, they were in full agreement. We received the chicks in January. Everything was constructed. And from January through October of that year, we were still very friendly. I have copies of text messages that also went that said, your chickens are great.
I understand, but the situation is that the neighbor rescinded her agreement. So you have to either move the coop to 50 feet away or you have to get rid of the birds.
So if I move the coop to 50 feet away to the other side where I also have written permission, and that neighbor, if I spend $10,000 to move the coop to the other side, which is what it would take because that side is not equipped to be able to have it, and there'd be multiple items of construction that would need to happen to move that coop. Let's say I spend the $10,000, I move it to the other side, and then that neighbor decides that they don't want it there. Even though I have written permission, then I have to come back to court and do this again?
Yeah.
I have a question for the city.
Or get rid of the birds.
When someone gives you written permission,
They rescinded,
They rescinded
ma'am,
it.
so it's no longer allowed.
Yep.
Can I ask the city a
You
question?
had one neighbor that rescinded, so it kind of has null and voided the other approvals.
Okay, Jules has a question.
So, unfamiliar with this process, if someone gets the written permission, there is no statute of limitations or anything associated. They can rescind it at any moment and then they're in violation. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing within the ordinance that references that. I mean, it just states that they have to have permission from the written permission from the neighboring property owner.
And
It doesn't
they
say
have
for a certain amount of, but the complaint came from that same neighbor, I believe.
That rescinded.
And so, you know, there's nothing within the ordinance that addresses.
Once they have it, it's good for so long.
Right, correct. So, and the other issue now, I don't know the specific measurements and things like that, and I don't think it was something that was addressed originally, but the coop is located within the side yard,
Yeah.
and it would have to meet the side yard setbacks. So there could be the potential that it can't even be where it's at right now, but without knowing the zoning district. I don't have all the details I need right now, but I mean, all of it could be a moot point, honestly, because it's encroaching into the setbacks. That is a possibility as well.
Yeah, but the issue we're talking about is the approval of the.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
you're saying if they can rescind at any time and then they're in violation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
unfortunately.
and that's now 2.5 years. We're at 2.5 years at this point from obtaining the chickens and having them as pets.
Unfortunately, the way the ordinance is written, which is what I was just getting clarification from, they can rescind at any time, and then you're back in violation. That's the way the ordinance is written according to the city.
so you have a choice. You can relocate the coop, or you can get rid of the birds.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, these are my pets. These are my pets. That's not an option to get rid of my pets. And I will also say that I'm not adding to my flock. We have 4 girls. And it's not that it's a large amount of chickens.
No, there's no way that we can make this okay. You either have to move the coop or get rid of the birds, and we need to know from you how much time you need to get that done.
What is the next step in the process for me to appeal this?
You can appeal.
Yeah, you can appeal to Pinellas County Circuit Court the ruling of the board once they make it.
Because this could be just an ongoing cycle of if there's a renter in the house next door that comes in that decides that they don't want them on the side next door. After again spending tens of thousands of dollars to redo that side.
We understand completely your situation. You don't have to explain anymore. What we're telling you is that the way the ordinance is written, that's all we can do. That's all we can do. We can't change the city's ordinance in here. We don't have that authority. All we can do is give you time to come into compliance. Or you can, again, per the city, you can take it to the next step, which is the circuit court of the county. Is that correct?
Yes, or you could also contact your council member, because, only council would be able to change the ordinance.
There you go. So if the ordinance is to get changed, the city council has to obviously vote on that.
How long does that take?
No idea.
All we can give you is time to get this arranged.
Then I would like to have the maximum time to be able to address this with my city council person and be able to see if we can have a statute of limitations on this type of thing that could be at least grandfathered back.
Okay.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the codes investigator have not been corrected. The board orders Molly A. Krantz and Lee W. Rosenkrantz to correct the violations within 60 days or by a date of May 25th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $100 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
Can I ask for more than 60 days?
No, ma'am, you need to be quiet right now.
Why'd
All
you
right.
choose that? I was just
It-
Gives her enough time to figure out what she
Yeah.
wants to do.
Yeah.
And it's a citizen complaint, so we
Yep.
have to take that into consideration.
Yeah. And it's-
So I was going to do 45, but I changed it to 60.
And it has been going on for a while.
And it has. It's been going on since last
August.
24, so.
I'm sorry, may I address that?
No, you may not.
You can't.
Okay, thank you.
Osakis?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Henshaw?
Yes.
Wait?
No.
Wilson?
Yes. The board has decided to give you 60 days to decide what you're going to do about the situation, ma'am. If you don't have it resolved within 60 days, you'll get a notice to attend a special magistrate's hearing.
Okay.
Please attend that hearing, and you can ask for more time. You may get it if you've shown some progress. If you don't attend that meeting, then fines will start to accrue against your house.
May I talk now?
Yes.
In regards to timing, is it in evidence at this point of the timeline that has not only been discussed, but also the timeline of my communication with the city codes compliance, and that each, because you addressed the length of time that's already gone on, the length of time that has already accrued since the violation was noted, I have responded exactly that day and and presented evidence and was told, we will get back with you immediately, we need to check on this, and then I never was. And I have documentation of that that I can submit too. So I understand this has gone on since August of last year, but that wasn't because of any delay on my part.
You need to speak to with either your council person or with an attorney and go to circuit court.
Okay.
We have done all we can at
Okay.
this point. We wish you good luck.
Okay.
Item number 99, property owner Catherine Lisa Whittier, investigator Monique Wadley. Good morning. I am Monique Wadley, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, and I'm testifying in reference to item 99, case number 24-10412. This is regarding property located at 441 22nd Street North, and I was sworn in at the start of this meeting. This property is a single-family structure and is vacant with active stormwater only. This is a citizen complaint case. The property was first inspected on June 18th, 2024, and a violation notice was sent to the owner with a compliance date of September 5th, 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March 19th, 2025, and the following violations still exist. The fascia soffit has rotted wood on the main structure. The exterior roof of the structure must be maintained in good repair and must resist water and deterioration from weather. The tarp on the main roof does not comply with proper roof maintenance. Rotted and splintered wood located on the main structure walls. Accessory structure garage has rotted and missing fascia and soffit. There's some tree plant vegetation throughout the property that is overgrown and it's not presenting in a neat and orderly appearance. There's some plant tree vegetation that's encroaching over and into the sidewalk. There's some tree limbs in the front that's encroaching and overhanging the curb, lower than 14 vertical feet in clearance. And there's some items stored on the property, not in an enclosed, fully enclosed structure. And 0 out of 8 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first class mail. It was posted at City Hall. It was sent certified mail, and it was posted at the violation address on March 8th, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records, Book 14189, page 1742. I have not had contact with the owner during the course of my investigation, but I did have contact with a HUD certified housing counselor, Diane Sardone, back in September 11th, 2024, and she did not indicate when the owner would be correcting the violations. The department recommends 25 days and $100 per day thereafter for noncompliance. And I would like to enter into evidence as Exhibit 1, photographs which were taken on March 19th, 2025. Document CEB 032625-412MW. This is the elevation of the property, and you can see how the landscape is also not presenting in a neat and orderly manner.
Sad. I'll get it later. I have the right pictures.
This is showing the fascia that's in disrepair. This is the tarp, part of the tarp that's on the roof. And here's some splintered wood on the walls. Right here is showing some more of the fascia soffit disrepair. Again, this is more of the front, and then this is part of the plant vegetation that is encroaching over the curb.
This is an old, 20 years. That's sad, man. That sucks.
And then this is showing some outdoor storage. And this is showing more outdoor storage.
Next time that will happen is they shouldn't even been doing that crap. I upset this crap. And that woman never comes.
More miscellaneous just items.
That's it. I was gonna say anything, but now I'm gonna say.
And then this is in the back. This is the accessory structure that the fascia area has rotted wood. And then you can see on the other side of the main structure, there's a part of the tarp. And I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as Exhibit 2, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Wadley. Can you tell me what the involvement of HUD is with this property?
They were just trying to get her assistance to help, as what she had just mentioned. I was unsure if it was going through foreclosure or something, but she was just reaching out on behalf of the owner.
Okay, so they contacted you?
Yes.
She didn't call me.
And it is vacant, that's what you said? It's vacant?
It was active stormwater, and yeah.
So it has.
Nobody's living in it.
As far as I know, every time I've knocked, nobody's in there.
Okay.
You had said there was active sewer only?
No, stormwater only.
Stormwater.
Mhm.
Is there electricity?
That I did not
She doesn't know.
check. Yeah.
Funny.
I thought
No,
there
they're
wasn't
not.
any,
They're like
because
scrap.
you said all there is active stormwater?
So you're right. No active water source. Yeah.
You didn't check power?
I did not, because I figured if it was vacant, yeah.
Any more questions for staff? All right, could you please give us your names and addresses?
My name is Kathy Lisa Wydeer. I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
But my boyfriend is going,
Excuse me.
yes?
If this gentleman is going to speak, I'll need his name and address as well.
I was going to say that.
No, I need to tell him. My name is Richard Birchmeyer, 5310 11th Avenue South, Gulfport, 33707. I'm a general contractor.
Okay, and your address, ma'am?
She's at 441 22nd Street.
her to tell me.
She has a stroke and has aphasia and cannot say numbers.
I see. All right. So she's living in the home?
Not currently because
Wait, let me talk now. Let me say it, and you say it after. Ma'am, here's the thing.
I need her address, her current living address.
it is the same. 441 22nd Ave Street North. Or south, excuse, what is it? North. 441 22nd Street North.
Just told me she's not living there.
She's not staying
Let me
there.
talk, Richard.
She's staying in my house since the storm. FEMA has come in and said that they're going to repair her ceiling and her roof. Her insurance has sent her a proposal for with depreciation and deductions in it, and FEMA's going to cover the roof. She hasn't contracted, but she's got 2 roofers lined up to do most of this work that's in the code violations through the roofing. And then FEMA is going to help with some tree debris and stuff that came down from the storm. So she has a roofer in line. She's been trying to get in a program where the city was going to replace her roof for her, but there were some issues with her mortgage back at the time when she tried to do it originally. And since then, this hurricane's hit, and the tarps are put up by the group that came by, I can't remember what their name was, but they installed these temporary roofing on by their methods and means. And we're still waiting on a settlement from the insurance company. FEMA won't move until we get that. Once that is, and I have a copy of their proposal. It reduces down to about just enough to cover the roof, maybe a couple thousand more that FEMA is going to have to supply, which they will. Now it's just a matter of getting the insurance payment in FEMA and the roofer out there. As a GC, I could help her, but I can't do the roof. That's a separate discipline. It's not in my license.
Right.
We're waiting for FEMA to say what they will give her towards the yard recovery so that I can get my crew out there.
Richard, tell them that you have a home and I have a home.
You said they know your home.
Well, I stay with him because I can't stay in my home because
The ceiling
when
came
the
in.
big storm happened, four rooms are water all over. I'm not very happy about that. And I wish my home was really nice early. I had a better job before. It wasn't my job
She was
before.
a chemical engineer.
Right, but I can't say words because I had a stroke. And I do the best thing I can, and I'm not very happy why this woman says she didn't call me or anything. I called, I don't know if she's the same woman, but someone called up there maybe 5 times and nobody called me because I want to say what's going on. So that's sad about that,
Well,
really.
the main issue is she's on a Social Security income only, and she can't afford to do all these repairs,
But
let alone pay
I
a
do
fine
have
for
a
not
job.
doing them.
But I do also have a job also. I work for USF.
Part-time in their kitchen.
Right. So I work, and I'm not afraid to clean my home. But that's a lot of crap to say they didn't call. They didn't even call me. That's sad.
Well, Lisa, that's not an issue.
Well, that's not right. To say I didn't try.
She doesn't
to call.
understand.
Well, I know
don't
what
have a way to
happened.
get a hold of you. If you could please, sir, give some contact information to the codes investigators so they can reach you and her. since
Yes, ma'am.
she's staying with you.
That's not a
That
problem.
would help.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what, I actually spoke to somebody on the phone, and they asked me to come today to help.
Mhm.
I'm a close personal friend as well as a general contractor, so I will help her with my crew when we get to the aspects on the inside of the house, but we can't do anything, there's no need to put ceilings in without the roof being repaired.
I understand.
Okay,
So
and ma'am,
let us give you
Ma'am, I've had 4 homes. I work 10, 11 states. I've had good jobs
Right,
all
when she
over.
was an engineer.
I had 4 homes. This is my home now, and it's a mess, but the pictures that they put here, they have pictures not even the right pictures. I'm not very happy. They're like, to do anything like that. I don't like that. because I try very hard to put things right. And when you have a big storm and all this water and everything, I'm very upset
We
about
would just
that.
like to have 60 days at least to just get this
No,
settlement
ma'am,
and the
I-
insurance going.
Richard,
And then
ma'am,
get the roof
ma'am,
repaired.
Ma'am, I think it's gonna take more like 2 months before we lift the roof. Because I got the money now, and it takes more time to do that. And my home was gonna be more pretty and nice, but it may be 6 months probably, but I don't know.
Give us just a minute here then. Does any of the rest of this work require a permit other than the roof?
I think it would depend on, I didn't see how bad the siding was. I mean, certainly,
Those were roots, they're not really cracks, those are like vine roots that have propagated across the fascia.
from what I saw from photographs, I'll defer to Ms.
Also, sir and ma'am, I used to, before the plan, when I got the home, I had no plans, none. And not you guys, somebody who gave me a ticket and say, oh, you need plants. My God, so I did. And I had a lot of green and had oak and so on. So, I mean, so then a big storm happened, a lot of water, the papers, the green are gone now, a lot of them. So,
Ma'am, we do understand.
Yeah.
We do. And we're going to vote on giving you some time to get all of this taken care of. All right?
And the roofing folks that you're dealing with, that's going to require a permit, so that,
Oh, yes, they'll pull their own separate roofing permits. If there's interior permits that are required for the ceiling and electrical, all that, I'll handle that part.
and also, also, you know, my home is very old. It's a, what is the age?
I don't know.
It's
It's
a-
in the 50s. It's in the Kenwood Historic
It's a
District.
5, 6. It's old, so it's not perfect.
Okay, we understand that. All right.
I had can you maybe just get it so so the landscaping issue, is that something that?
Yeah,
wait,
I can come out there and trim off the sidewalks, and I've done that several times over the months to keep the bushes off the sidewalks and over the
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. My boyfriend, he does fix my home maybe 1, 2, or 3 times, so it's all clean. The pictures that, I know she's doing the best, she does what she can, but the pictures wasn't even right, because when the storm happened, Richard already cleaned when you
That's
first
since
come
then,
in.
Lisa. That's okay.
Yeah, so,
we
yeah,
do understand that.
yeah, and I had a friend, he died later, he worked in Tampa.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
we need to do our thing here.
Okay.
Give us a minute.
I'll read something. Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code, as stated by the code's investigator, have not been corrected. The board orders Catherine Lisa Wadier to correct the violations within 60 days or by the date of May 25th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $100 per day shall be imposed.
3 more?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? You think 60 is going to get it?
No,
We
it'd
would
be more
prefer
like
90
this.
if we
It'll
could.
be this month.
Sounds like they get the roofing company they've talked to, the FEMA money sounds like it's right around the corner.
if they get the roof repaired and clean up the landscaping, I think, does that address all of the current issues? I think
Looks like it.
Well, there was some
Kinds of extra.
exterior walls, the
Fascia.
overgrowth.
A lot of pictures not even right.
Debris cleanup on the front porch.
Sad.
And the issue.
Yeah, but some of that stuff
I need some
has been there
water.
since June.
Yeah.
I would really like,
But this has been since June,
You'd like to see more
pre-hurricane.
time? You guys think both, yeah?
Yeah.
They're both thinking more time.
I don't know.
And again, I know this was a citizen complaint.
Exactly, and it's been since June,
Can't walk
before
down
both
the
hurricanes. Yeah, you can't walk.
all right,
Let's
let's
Yeah.
vote it out.
Yeah.
Seklis?
Excuse me?
Yes.
Schneider?
Talking.
Yes.
Henshaw?
Yes.
Wait?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes. Okay, ma'am, you have 60 days,
What did she say?
2 months.
2 months to get this started. I don't know if you'll finish within 60 days, but if you don't, you'll get a notice about a special magistrate's hearing. Come to the hearing and ask for more time. You can tell them what progress you've made and that you're working on it. And you may, for all I know, still be waiting on that FEMA check.
Excuse me.
By the way, the notice for the magistrate meeting is going to go to the property that no one's living in right now. Be advised, that's where things are being sent to.
Is it sent to the
Oh, excuse
441?
me,
She has a
Richard,
post
Richard,
office box
Richard.
as well.
Richard, I get it in my mail.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm smarter than you think. Because then happen to roof, it's hard to get your mail, and you know that. Okay, you know that.
So there is a PO box?
Yes, good.
And they do check it. so
Good.
That's good.
Yes.
If you could please meet Miss Wadley out in the hall and make sure she has a way to get in contact with you, either by email or by phone, it would help.
Yeah, because I called them so many times. They never call me. I'm not very happy.
Thank you
6
for coming
times.
in.
Huh?
Thank you for the extension.
Also, I do want to tell you that I would like to, if I could, give me the,
Transcripts. 'cause
yes,
she-
so I can see what you
she
guys
wasn't-
said, so
Is there a way to get a
I
transcript
don't hear
from
all
her
the
hearing?
words.
Because she has aphasia and she
clerk
probably
will
didn't,
help you with that.
okay.
When will we have it?
She'll talk to you about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Item number 80, property owner Robin Casey Weber, investigator Joseph Brenori.
She left her phone.
You want to bring it out to her? Or somebody can? There you go. Thank you.
I'm Joseph Bernori, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item number 80, case 2413456, regarding the property located at 556 Northmore Avenue North. I was sworn in at this meeting. This property is a single-family structure and is occupied by owner. This is a C-click fix case. Property was first inspected on August 9th, 2024, and a violation notice sent to the owner with a compliance date of September 4th, 2024. Property was last re-inspected on March 13th, 2025, and the following violations still exist. Areas of the fence are broken, leaning, falling, and are missing, and various areas of the fascia and soffit are either in disrepair and or missing. 5 out of 7 violations have been corrected since this case began. The notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, delivered by certified mail, was posted at the violation address on March 13th, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records, Book 17499, page 0816. During the course of my investigation, my last contact with the owner prior to today was March 13th, 2025, and the owner did indicate that the violations would be corrected by late May, early April. The department recommends 25 days and $100 per day thereafter for noncompliance. Additional relevant facts regarding this case are the owner has installed a new roof with an approved permit 2411001237, and an approved final inspection happened November 23rd, 2024. Some of the fascia was replaced at that time and would just need to be painted, and the owner has scheduled the remaining work in April, and today she verified that some of the areas, or maybe all the areas of the fence have been repaired. I'd like to enter into evidence as exhibit number 1, photographs which were taken on March 13th, 2025, document 0313255456, JCB, and photos 1 to 4.
Is it not? Oh, it fell asleep.
Oh, did it time out?
Page.
A lot of technical issues.
Sorry. I fell asleep right as you were switching over.
Easy to happen. So here we have an elevation shot.
I'm actually going to take out number 40.
An area where the fence was damaged.
23, 29, 32.
some of the fascia that was replaced during the roofing work, but just needs to be painted. And some of the areas that would still need to be addressed as far as the fascia soffit.
Yeah, 43 was marked off.
I'd like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as exhibit number 2, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have questions for staff? No? Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Robin Casey Weber, 556 Northmore Avenue North, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Thank you. How much more time do you need to get done here?
I have someone coming in about 3 weeks that's going to help me with the rest of my soffit and fascia.
Okay, great,
I thought it was included in my $20,000 roof.
but apparently not.
It's not.
Darn. Okay, so
No permit required?
No,
Does
her
she
roof
need-
was permitted.
the roof was permitted, but does she need a permit for the soffit and fascia?
I imagine that was included within the roof. Typically, if they're doing that work too, it gets included in the roof permit.
So it's still,
Yeah.
even though there was a final inspection?
Yeah, if it just needed the paint and stuff like that, that would be. And most of the time, if they're not doing the entire home, you know, all the way around the roof, then a lot of times just those minor repairs don't require a permit.
Okay.
Right, okay.
That's sort of what I was told because it's where they had to put new fascia, that they had to take down the old soffit.
Right. Okay, so do we have any more questions?
So you think you'll be done by the end of April?
I'm asking for the end of May. I have someone
End of
coming
May.
the end of April to help me with.
Okay,
I'll read it if you want.
Okay.
go for it.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code, as stated by the codes investigator, have not been corrected. The board orders Robin Casey Weber to correct the violations within 60 days or by May 25th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $100 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Sutcliffe?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Henshaw?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
ma'am, you have 60 days.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Next case, please.
Item 187, property owner George Higgins, investigator David Walker.
Good morning. I'm David Rock Walker, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item 187, case 24-18793, regarding property located at 5998 Grove Street South. I was sworn in at this meeting. The property is a single-family structure and is occupied by the owner. This is a citizen complaint case. The property was first inspected on October 29th, 2024, and a violation notice was sent to the owner with a compliance date of November 27th, 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March 18th, 2025, and the following violations still exist. The oak at the rear of the property has been determined to be creating an imminent hazard to the abutting property to the east and utility lines in the area. Removal will be required and a permit will be required for code-protected tree species. 0 out of 1 violation has been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, and was posted at the violation address on March 12th, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to the hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records Book 19735 and page 1728. During the course of my investigation, my last contact with the property owner was on March 12th. The owner did not indicate when the violations would be corrected. The department recommends 25 days and $100 per day thereafter for non-compliance. I would like to enter into evidence as Exhibit 1 photographs which are taken on March 18th, 2025, and their documented CEB March 2025, and it's photos number 1 through 4. So this is the front of the property right here. The tree in question is in the back, but I have better pictures to show that. This is the tree right here in question. You can see that it's broken also on the left side there. That's the broken side, and you can see that it's mixed in with the wires right here. And these wires right here. And then I got a close-up of it right there. I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as Exhibit 2. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Are there any options besides removing the tree totally?
Not after the determination of the city arborist.
Okay.
There is some other information, but I'm going to let Mr. George explain.
Okay.
So we've had great contact. I will say that. There is a reason why it's taken a little longer too, because this is, but
Okay, I get it. Thank you. Hello, sir. Could you give us your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is George Higgins. My address 5998 Grove Street South, St. Petersburg, 33705.
All righty. And what can you tell us about your tree?
The tree, I contacted the city about the tree, and they sent some representatives out because I thought it was on the power line and I couldn't touch it. So they came and they agreed that they were going to remove it. And when they came with the paperwork, and I told them that my wife had passed away, that I was going to be selling the house and moving to Texas, they said they couldn't remove the tree because I had to stay there for a year. So, and I didn't have the money to move it at that time.
So all of a sudden you have no financial help to do it.
Right, no financial help, right.
Is there any, it looks like it's dangerously close to, I don't know if those are power lines or cable lines, but usually the utilities will come out and at least deal with that piece of it.
right. Okay. So the neighbor behind who complained about it, she has called the cable company and Duke, and none of them want to touch it. And that's where it came to. It's, and he did, like he said, he did apply for the tree program. He was pretty much accepted until they came to the house and they did see that it was being sold. Because he does want to move with his family because of his wife's passing. And that's why there's a little gap because we were going through the tree assistance program. But there are certain criterias. And
That's the year-long, you got to stay?
Correct. Yeah.
yes.
And Mr. Schneider, just in those instances, the utility companies are just going to trim it back to protect their asset. They're not going to completely remove the tree.
No, I hear
So they
you.
might clear some branches that are directly around the power lines or the cable lines, but that would be
looked
the
like
extent.
it was almost on top of it.
Yeah.
I guess that's their judgment call, but it looked pretty close to me.
Yeah.
No, he gets a tree company out there, they may say, you need to get in touch with utilities.
Yeah, exactly. If I were a tree company, I'd say go get the utility company to get it off the line first, but.
But the individual who did complain has been calling them constantly to, the power company and the utility company and the cable company. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what tree company's gonna touch that.
Is there a permit required to remove the tree?
Yep.
No, because it's been determined to be hazardous in the new state law that passed a couple of years ago, they would not
They would not need a permit.
need a permit for it.
So
No.
a tree removal company, if they would take it on, wouldn't need a permit?
Yeah, typically an arborist would make that determination on the private side, but since our arborist made the determination, we've cited, we're telling you this is hazardous, the state law exempts the permitting requirements in hazardous conditions.
Well, that's
good.
good.
Yeah.
That's good,
That's one less step.
right? Well, and also can happen
So-
quicker.
Are there any alternatives for him to be able to try to get finances together to do this?
No, I mean, most of the city programs, we have that for a reason, where you either have to hold on to the property or not rent it for a certain amount of time because we don't want to be providing funds and then it's making the property more attractive than just get sold and then that property owner benefits from that. The intent of our programs is to keep individuals and their properties not facing any fines or liens, and that's why that provision is in place. So any city program is going to have similar provisions around it.
I wonder if it'd be possible to sell the house, escrow the money for the repair, and then go with his family. There'd be money to cure. I wonder if the house could be sold with that.
Yeah, I mean, the house can be sold with the violation still there, understanding that the new owner is going to have to take care of it. That happens regularly, so.
Yeah.
And I forget or didn't quite get it, the whole tree has to come down, or just the piece that's near the power line?
Yeah, no, the whole tree, yeah. Typically, our arborists will notify us if there's opportunities to mitigate the hazard by trimming, because we want to try to protect our tree canopy the best that we can. That was not an option in this case.
Okay, so it is the whole tree?
Correct.
Wow.
When are you looking to move?
Probably at least by 6 months from now.
You would have to.
Good idea, your year.
Do you have the house listed yet?
Yes, I do.
So it is listed.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, we could give him time and hope it sells. I mean, that's
Well, that the
about all I
branch
can-
falls on the line.
How long has it been on the market?
I just went on the market about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll read something.
All right.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the codes investigator have not been corrected. The board orders George Higgins to correct the violations within 90 days or by June 24th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $100 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Seklis,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Henshaw,
Yes.
Wait,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. Okay, sir, the board's given you 90 days. Hopefully your home sells within that time.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't, you'll get a notice to attend a special magistrate's hearing. Come to that hearing and ask for more time, and they'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
If you don't attend the hearing, they're going to put a lien on your house. So
Okay.
you need to come.
All right.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Next case?
Item 220, property owner Pacifica Emerald Bay LLC, investigators Zoraida Melendez.
Just for clarity's sake, Pacifica Emerald Bay has another two. Are these individual tenant complaints?
It's two different cases. Yeah, one is building, two buildings, and the one is an apartment.
I see multiple
A lot of them have been removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not hearing, we're only hearing 220 and,
And 221.
no, 224. 221 I have removed.
That's correct.
220 and 224.
That's all we're hearing? Okay.
Okay.
Good morning. I am Zoraida Melendez, co-investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item 220, case number 2412090 regarding property located at 3901 38th Avenue South. I was running at the beginning of this meeting. This property is a commercial structure and is occupied by tenants. This is a tenant complaint case. The property was first inspected on July 19, 2024, and violation notice sent to the owner with compliance date of August 23, 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March 18, 2025, and the following violations still exist. The electrical box cover is loose inside the AC unit. The smoke detector in the hallway is missing. The hallway ceiling light cover is missing. Both light in the apartment porch are not working. The bathroom ventilation is not working. 3 out of 7 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, and it was And it was sent certified mail, and it was posted at the violation address, which it was March 12, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in the official county record, book 17837, page 1889. And my last contact with the property manager was on March 18, 2025. And they were working on the on correcting the violation, but there was no date when the violation will be corrected. The department recommends 25 days and $200 per day thereafter not in compliance. Additional relevant facts in regard to this case is I received a phone call from the tenant, and she said partials of the violation was already corrected. She did say that the electrical box was corrected, and also the smoke detector and some of the lighting inside. I would like to enter into evidence Exhibit 1, photos which were taken on March 18, 2025, document 318-2590-ZM, photos 1 through 7. So this is the front elevation. There's a light here, and there's another light above the ceiling that is not working. And this is the bathroom ventilation. I'm sorry, I didn't mention the top is showing peeling paint. So this violation is still active. And this is where the smoke detector was missing. And this is the one of the AC, the thermostat that was also in this repair. And this is the AC electrical box that was, with exposed wires. And this is just a picture of the unit that was inspected. I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence, Exhibit 2, and this would conclude my presentation.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions for staff? All right.
Hello.
Could you please give us your name and address for the record?
Yes, it's Monica Huarte, Huarte, and the address is 3901 38th Avenue South.
We will need your address.
My address, it's 115 112 Avenue, I'm new to the area, I don't know the address, Avenue Northeast.
Okay.
Apartment 626.
And your connection to Pacifica Emerald Bay?
I'm the new property manager. I started in February.
Okay. So can you tell me why it's taken 8 months with relatively minor issues here?
Again, so I'm new to the property. I just started in February. I only have one maintenance tech at the moment. My leasing agent just started on last week, and my maintenance tech started the same day as I did. Okay. He's not very knowledgeable, so we're trying to get contractors out until we get a full staff.
Okay, so how much time do you need to fix the rest of the issues?
So for this one, I have a contractor. I'm actually meeting with him today and Friday to get this completed.
Okay, and
I would say about 25 days or less.
Okay. All righty. Anybody got any questions?
No.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code, as stated by the code's investigator, have not been corrected. The board orders Pacific Emerald Bay LLC to correct the violations within 20 days or by the date of April 15, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $200 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
Did you mean 20 or 25 days?
I meant 20.
Okay.
Can I ask a general question about about the items for this same company that we aren't going to address, or can we not talk about those? The question is, were they removed because they were dealt with, or they just wanted to push the date out?
The other ones are vacant. The tenants move out. That's the question?
I
Why
think
the
so.
other
So
one?
what you're saying is, there's no tenant there, so we can't talk about them?
Right, so basically, once the unit is vacated, there's no more interior violations for us to pursue while there's not somebody occupying it. And what we do is, we start a separate case that notifies property management that if you put somebody back in that unit before you fix them, that's a whole separate issue, and they can be fined separately for that. We just don't bring those cases before the board because it's not an occupied unit that has active violations in it. It is occupied.
That answers I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that all this stuff is...
No. I believe, as Ms. Melendez stated, most of those are going to be the fact that they were just vacated because the tenants moved out, not the fact that they were corrected.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. So any further discussion
Nope.
on the motion?
What was the fine?
$200.
Okay, so let's vote.
Aseklis?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Henshaw?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes. Okay, ma'am, you have 20 days to fix this.
Thank you.
And stay right there, because
Yeah.
you have another one, right?
Okay.
Item 224, property owner Pacifica Emerald Bay LLC. Investigators Zoraida Melendez.
Good morning. I am Zoraida Melendez, co-investigator for the city of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item 224, case number 24-21347 regarding property located at 3938 Avenue South. I was running at the beginning of this meeting. The property is a commercial and this building is vacant. This is a codes follow-up case. The property was first inspected on December 9, 2024, and it was and violation notice was sent to the owner with compliance date of January 17, 2025. The property was last re-inspected on March 18, 2025, and the following violations still exist. For city building official, the following unfit and unsafe condition exists at the property. Unit A, Building 29 has partial roof collapse and is unsafe for human habitation and occupancy. Roof repairs and mitigation of interior damage must be completed with approved permit prior to unit being occupied. Balcony of Unit G is in Building 31 is unsafe for its intended use. Hard barriers must be installed to prevent access to both the balcony and the patio area under the balcony. Repair must be completed with approved permits. 0 out of 1 violation have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail. It was posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, and it was handed delivered by me on March 12, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in the County Official Record Book 17837, page 1889. My last contact with the property manager was on March 18, 2023, and there was no indication when the violation will be corrected. The department recommends 5 days and $250 per day thereafter not in compliance. Additional relevant facts in regards to this record, to this case, is that property owner manager told me that she is working with FEMA to get this building violation corrected. I would like to enter into Evidence Exhibit 1, photos which were taken on March 18, 2025, documents 03-18-25-347 ZM, and I have 10 photos. So this is the front elevation of Building 31. And this is the unit number. This is the unit number where the balcony is, and it was posted on safe. This is the back porch where you could see the rotted wood, and the pole is damaged, split. This is another part of the back porch. And this is another picture, and you could see the open hole for the decking. And that's the back unit. This unit do not have a barrier to protect anyone going back there. And you can see a close-up. You see this pole is bended and is also not secured to the concrete. So this is the other building with the roof damage, and it's building 29. This is the front elevation. And this is the roof that is covered with a tarp. And this is the roof when it got damaged. I would like to enter this fact sheet into Evidence Exhibit 2, and this will conclude my presentation.
Thank you. And nobody's living in either of these buildings?
No. The building 31 is vacant. All the apartments, I noticed that they are vacant, and also on the building where the roof collapsed is, there's 2 apartments that, next to each other, that is vacant.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have questions for staff? All right. We'll need your name and address and relationship again, please.
Okay, Monica Huarte, 115-112 Avenue Northeast, apartment 626, and I'm the property manager.
Okay, thank you. So where are we at with the repairs to these 2 buildings?
So the same contractors that I'm meeting with today and on Friday, they're going to be repairing that with FEMA as well. I'm meeting with FEMA and the contractor today at 3.
All righty. Please tell me you're not waiting on FEMA money to do these repairs.
No, not for that one. Mm-hmm.
I had a question because these buildings are all very close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of kids in that community. So are you doing anything to cordon off the buildings that are clearly unsafe so that people don't have access to them?
So right now, that one just has a tent on it. We haven't blocked it off or anything.
But like the balcony part, where the balconies are damaged, is that cordoned off at all?
As of now, no. Like I said, I've been understaffed. I've just been me by myself for a while, for the past 2 months. I should be getting new maintenance and to be helping me out. But I can't get that blocked off.
Chair, if I may. To reiterate, for the balcony, we did request hard barriers be installed underneath to prevent any access for anyone going under, and this was back in December. So that would be, and that hasn't happened, and that's, I understand that there's a longer process to get the permits, but that's the immediate need for that one.
Right. I get it.
I'll read something.
Okay.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the code's investigator have not been corrected. The board orders Pacifica Emerald Bay LLC to correct the violations within 5 days or by a date of March 31st, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $250 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No.
It's not safe.
Yeah, I hear you.
They've got 9 violations.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Oh,
Ready now? Okay. Seckless,
yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Hanshaw,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. Okay, ma'am, you've got 5 days.
Okay,
Your attention needs to be on safety.
sounds good. No problem.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Would the board mind if we took a 5-minute comfort break?
We,
Works for me.
We're approaching lunch, aren't we?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are, but.
Yeah, and
Horizon.
it
How
should,
many, roll up. Where are we?
yeah, we're gonna have to,
We're halfway.
yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay,
We got another page and a half.
yeah. Do we want to do lunch now, or what do we want to do?
I don't think it's here yet. It should be momentarily, though, so I don't know if you can hold off another 5 or 10 minutes.
Let's hear a couple more cases and,
yeah.
okay.
Let's do
Yeah.
2 more.
Let's hear, we're going to hear 2 more cases, and then we're going to break for lunch.
Yeah, so, Chair, if I may, so we'll hear 2 more cases, and we're going to break for lunch. We'll be as quick as possible. I'd estimate probably about 30 minutes. So I imagine we'd probably be back around 1 o'clock to begin the hearings again. So anybody that is not the next 2 cases, you're welcome to go, get some food, refreshments, and then make sure you're back by 1 o'clock, which is when we'll begin. One thing that I did want to note, on each of your pieces of paper, there is a recommendation, and you'll hear the investigators read that out. Most of the time, it's going to be 25 days, but it can vary. If you believe you can have your violations corrected within those 25 days, you do not have to stay. You can talk with your investigator, you can let them know that, and then your case will just get read in at the end of the hearing. I do want to make sure everybody understands, though, that this is your one opportunity to get information on the record with the board. So by no means am I encouraging anybody to take that recommendation if you want to provide your evidence, but that opportunity is there if you firmly believe that, you understand a violation exists, you realize that you can have it done within 25 days. You do not have to sit here throughout the entire rest of the hearing. You can speak with your investigator, and we will just read your cases in at the end of the hearing. So I just want to provide that option for everybody. Okay.
So it's going to be item number 107 and 168 can stay.
That would be 106 22nd Avenue Southeast and
168 's the other one.
well,
Item number 168.
178, okay, and 809 9th Avenue North.
Okay. Item number 107, property owner OSE Rentals LLC, investigator Carl Gordon.
I'm Carl Gordon, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item number 107, case number 24-12545 regarding property located at 106 22nd Avenue Southeast. I was sworn in at this meeting. This property is a multifamily structure and occupied by tenants. This is a citizen's complaints case. The property was first inspected on July the 25th, 2024, and a violation notice sent to the owner with a compliance date of September the 9th, 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March 13, 2025, and the following violation still exists. Facility is being operated as a substance abuse recovery center, social service agency, in a single-family zoning district. Facility is currently not authorized with appropriate state agency for this use. 0 out of 1 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, and was posted at a violation address on March 13, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records, Book 22026, page 0561. During the course of my investigation, I have not had any contact with the owner. The department recommends 25 days and $150 per day thereafter for noncompliance. Additional relevant facts to this case is that a verbal admission from a tenant stated that they are using the facility as a drug rehab at that location. I would like to enter into evidence as exhibit number 1, photographs which were taken on March 13, 2025, document 0326255545 CEB, and photos numbers 1 through 4. Here is an exterior of the the property itself. Here, as you can see, in this, here you get the utility account shows the Corona Self-Help Center as the owner, as the name on the facility utility account status. And here's the name that was on the utility account, Corona Self-Help Center. And as you can see here, their mission is to help recover individuals suffering from substance abuse use, focusing on physical, mental, and spiritual conditions as a whole, contributing to the individual's social reintegration in a dignified and efficient way. And here is their website also, and their mission was what I just read. And as far as their vision, it says to become a model program that continuously improves the recovery of drug addicts and establish self-sufficient community center in areas of need. I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as exhibit number 2, and this concludes my presentation.
Okay, so I've got a couple questions. One, is it that it's located in a residential area? Or
Yes, ma'am.
It's not licensed?
It is located in a residential area, a single-family area, so it does not have the proper approval to be a substance abuse center in that area.
So there are opportunities for that, but as was, I think, read in the violation, there has to be appropriate state licensing, and then from the city standpoint, we have to make sure that there's not another location within a certain number of feet and verify that there is the state licensure that's all associated with it. So we're not saying that it's prohibited use by any means, but they haven't done what they need to, if that's what...
It's an either-or situation.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Did he answer your question? So they don't have a license?
They don't have we do not have any information that they've got their state licensure and then submitted that to the city to verify that they then are not within 1,000 feet of another location.
Just looking for the answer. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon. I will need names and addresses from each of you that's going to speak today.
Good afternoon. I am Adam Bild. I am the attorney for the property. My address is 18920 North Dale Mabry Highway in Lutz, Florida. I have the pleasure of representing OSC Rentals, LLC.
Okay, if you could hold just one moment, sir. If either of the two people who are with you are going to testify, I will need their names and addresses as well.
Sure. I'll introduce first. I have the property manager for OSC Rentals, LLC.
My name is Zina Halef, H-A-L-E-F, 2615 Big Pine Drive, Holiday, Florida, 34691.
Thank you. And the gentleman?
My name is Cristobal Flores, and my address is 106 22nd Avenue, Southeast, St. Petersburg.
So you live at the facility?
I live in the facility.
Okay, thank you.
Minor Flores. B like boy, I-L-D like David.
The problem here, sir, is that the use in the building is not authorized at this point.
Yes, actually, the violation description is under Chapter 16, Section 16.10.010.4, and the use table outline is in that subsection of 16.10.020.1. This is a little different than typical violations. ACA regulates the licensure of substance abuse services under Florida Statute 397.401. Violations of licensure are handled by ACA, and what is happening here isn't an ACA issue where they've come out and stated a license is required or not. we have some neighboring owners who, over the period of approximately a year in communications with city, were saying that the use is improper. It started as parking claims, and we have from our public records request that development over time, which ultimately became a discussion about licensure. My client was not interviewed prior to the issuance of this violation. I do not believe 1610.010.4 or its subsections are an appropriate basis for a violation to be issued in the first place. These sections reference a table, which for substance care facilities references another section of the city code. There is no remedies, there are no requirements section, and there is no change of use. In fact, if you examine Florida statute 397.401, which deals with substance abuse services, these items do not require a change of use or zoning from the city. This is not something that's typically regulated. There are standards where that could come into effect, arguably, and that would be a licensure issue. But for instance, if they were dispensing medication, if there was medical treatments being provided under the license of a registered nurse or physician, under situations like that, that's a higher level that brings you out of a potential residential setting, although still handled under licensure. That typically begins with a licensure issue, and that typically makes its way to the municipality by means of a request for inspection that usually goes through the fire marshal and building department or usage. Some of these facilities, based off of usage, might require sprinklers and things like that, and that's usually how we get these. So it's a non-traditional. I have not seen a cross-reference to 1610.010.4. There is not a remedy section in there or enforcement. And under the social services agencies, which I pulled from email correspondence with the city as part of our public records request, that subsection says, quote, see use specific development standards.
Sir, if I could, please. The violation at this point is a zoning one. You're operating this, or they are operating within a residential district. And according to our code, that's not allowed unless you meet some other parameters. I do understand your argument, and I will let staff address that more fully. But at this point, what we need from you, and all we need from you, is the number of days you need to come into compliance.
Thank you for the clarification. Under 397.4012, which is the very next section under Florida statute under substance abuse services, this section is titled exemptions from licensure. And it states the following are exempt from licensing provisions.
Okay, sir.
I'm going to try and help here because I know all the lawyery speak stuff going on here. But anyway, that ship has sailed. They made a determination that there's a violation. There are steps you can take to address your concerns that the staff made a mistake. But we're limited to relying on the determination that has been made. So we can't undo the determination. You're arguing this shouldn't apply, undo that determination. That's not our job. We don't even have the authority to do that. The determination was made that there is a violation, and so we're giving you an opportunity to cure that violation or take it to another jurisdiction where you can appeal it to different folks than us. So that's kind of sort of what we're trying to explain to you.
Well, agree with why we're here with the board and appreciate the position of all of you. Don't want to take your time necessarily, especially before lunch. It is important, and I do apologize because an investigation did not involve my client prior to this. They were not contacted prior to state that a determination has been made without any sort of process.
You were notified back in July.
Your clients were mailed notice.
Yeah, they were notified back in July. July of last year, this has been going on.
Sure, yeah, if I may. So, I believe what the representative is trying to make an argument is that technical code section may not be applicable in this case. The zoning official provided a determination that in these cases, the agencies are required to get that licensing information, and at that time, they actually receive a zoning form that they then have to submit to us as the city. And that's when the zoning department will review that form, make sure that there's no other facility within 1,000 feet, and then it could be approved at that point in time. So, I believe that we've shown sufficient evidence based on the utility account, the verification from an individual occupying the property that advised one of our inspection supervisors that this was occurring at that property, that's the activity that's occurring there. And simply what we're looking for, we're not saying that you can't do it, but we would like it to be done to the standards that the city requires. And as long as there's not another facility within 1,000 feet, as soon as that paperwork gets filed and it's documented, this case gets closed.
So all they need to do is, at least to start that, what you just explained, is fill out a form from zoning.
It's a form that they receive from the state licensure when they receive their licensure. Then they receive that document, they give it to the city, and then the city is able to verify and then approve it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like the third, so we're just repeating ourselves. This is the third time we've said the same exact thing. So I think we'd.
If I could please.
We need to know the number of days it's going to take
Yeah.
to either cure the violation or submit to a different authority.
Okay. If curing the violation, by curing the violation, the board's referring to licensure under the statute, under 397-4012.
However you choose to comply, you can either get licensed or take it to a different authority who can rule on some of your claims.
And
And how many days is that, sir?
I respectfully, if you'd please allow me to address exemptions, because we have been in touch. We have been in touch with the licensing facility, and they do not require.
Sir, the number of days, please.
I'll read something if you want.
Listen, I'd like a brief opportunity to be on record. I have been interrupted from reading this section, and I appreciate the board's position, but you're asking for.
You've been asked to stop. You've had your plenty of time to testify. We've said the same thing 3 times to you now. The city's been more than cooperative in terms of providing a pathway. It's your choice how you decide to proceed. We don't need to hear this anymore. We're now gonna take the time to decide how much time you get.
Okay,
So you've had your chance for
ACA
testimony.
licensing is a 6-month process.
Right. Do we need to escort the gentleman out? Or what?
I'm answering your question on how long we need on what ACA licensing is. I just answered your question that ACA licensing is a 6-month process.
I'll read something. Okay? Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the codes investigator have not been corrected. The board orders, where are we?
107.
107, OSE Rentals LLC to correct the violations within 25 days or by April 20th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $200 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Nope.
Nope.
All righty. Roll call, please.
Sutcliffe.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Henshaw.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. All right, sir, you have 25 days to make up your mind. Next case, please.
Item 168, property owner Carly Ruff and Michael Ruff, investigator for Zone 15, Jose Rodriguez.
It doesn't look like the property owner is here.
That's what I think they might have left when we announced that we were doing lunch after the next two because 23 was stricken.
Okay, so we'll just pick that up after lunch.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we'll break for lunch and we'll come back at 1 o'clock?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
We're breaking for lunch now.
Okay, thank you for our lunch break. Codes Enforcement Board is now back in session. If there's anyone here who has not been sworn in, would you please stand and raise your hand? The clerk can swear you.
Stand and raise your right hand if you plan on speaking and have not been sworn in yet. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, thank you. You can be seated.
And would you roll call us, please?
Oseklis?
Here.
Schneider?
Here.
Hanshaw?
Here.
Waite?
Here.
Wilson?
Here. So our next case is item 168.
Yes, item 168, property owner Carly Ruff and Michael Ruff, investigator for Zone 15, Jose Rodriguez.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Jose Rodriguez, codes investigator for the city of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item number 168, case number 24-12385 regarding property located at 3755 Beach Drive Southeast. I was sworn in at this meeting. The property is a single-family structure and occupied by owner. This is a C-click fixed case. The property was first inspected on July 23rd of 2024, and a violation notice sent to the owner with a compliance date of August 16th of 2024. Property was last re-inspected on March 17th of 2025, and the following violations still exist. Advertisement and rental of a property for transient accommodations, occupancy for less than a monthly term is prohibited within neighborhood suburban single-family NS1 zoning district. 0 out of 1 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, was posted at the violation address on March 13th of 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records, Book 22784, page 2107. During the course of the investigation, the last contact with the realtor prior to today was made on January 9th of 25, and the realtor did not indicate when the violations would be corrected. The department recommends 10 days and $200 per day thereafter for non-compliance. Additional relevant facts regarding this case are, so the property is not active on Airbnb or VRBO or for booking. Proof of cancellation is never received for original observed bookings, booking out short-term stays. Website, Instagram, and Facebook page are active, and the Facebook post is recent as March 6th. Event space rental inquiry from active website, booking available through direct message on Instagram or IG only. Advertised for weekend packages on a website called Bribe Tribe. I would like to enter into evidence as exhibit number 1, photographs which were taken March 17th, and some screenshots, and for document 032625-385 CEB, and photographs and screenshots 1 through 8. So the first photograph is the elevation of the front of the structure. So it's a listing on the website, again, Bribe Tribe, where you can go and rent out the home for bridal parties, bachelorette parties. This is a screenshot of the checkout page showing that it's still active and you can book the property at short-term rentals. Again, in here, this is some other items you can book, reference to the property itself for photo shoots and, of course, event inquiry right here, the form. Here is a screenshot from Facebook, which displays the property, the rear of the property, the pool, and it talks about amenities and how many can stay. And again, another Facebook shot of the interior of the structure, and again, amenities. And again, this is from Instagram. So again, displaying that the property itself is for rent. and again for specifically bridal parties. And this is the landing page for the website, which shows the front of the structure, or again, the elevation shot that I've previously shown. I would like to enter this fact sheet and evidence exhibit number 2, and this concludes my presentation.
All right, ma'am. Could we have your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Carly Ruff, 3755 Beach Drive, Southeast, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33705.
So you live at this property?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do when you rent it for the weekend?
I live with my boyfriend here in the city.
Okay. So is there a reason you haven't cut it out yet?
I actually have canceled all the bookings. I have evidence here with me. As far as the Bride Tribe company, that was a friend that started it over a year ago when he first started out, and I haven't noticed that it was still up, so we haven't gotten any bookings through her or anything.
He showed several websites.
Yes, so we still have a website up, but there's no booking link at all for anyone to book. The plan is, as he mentioned, I do have the house for sale right now, is to relocate to a place that does have the right zoning for short-term rentals. So I just kept everything up to hopefully transfer that over to the new property.
Okay, anybody else have questions?
I can read something.
Oh, go ahead.
You okay? Okay. Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the codes investigator have not been corrected. The board orders Carly Ruff and Michael J. Ruff to correct the violations within 5 days or by March 31st, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $250 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Maseklis?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Hanshaw?
Yes.
Wait?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes. Okay, you have 5 days to get that remaining website down and
Okay.
proof to the city of the cancellations.
Okay.
Item 169, property owner Carly Ruff and Michael Ruff. Investigator Jose Rodriguez.
I am Jose Rodriguez, codes investigator for the city of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item number 169, case number 24-14647, regarding property located at 3755 Beach Drive Southeast. I was sworn in at this meeting. This property is a single-family structure and is occupied by owner. This is a citizen complaint case. Property was first inspected on August 14th of 2024, and a violation notice sent to the owner with a compliance date of September 9th of 2024. Property was last re-inspected on March 17th of 2025, and the following violations still exist. No permits for interior renovations of structure, work observed but not limited to, guest bathroom renovation with new plumbing and drywall, addition of electrical outlets, and kitchen renovation with removal of wall. After the fact permit will be required for work done to structure. 1 out of 2 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first class mail, posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, was posted at the violation address on March 13th of 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records, Book 22784, page 2107. I have not had any contact with the owner. The department recommends 25 days and $150 a day per day thereafter for noncompliance. There are no additional relevant facts regarding this case, and I would like to enter into evidence exhibit number 1, photographs which were taken or screenshots March 17th, and document CEB 0317256447JR and photos 1 through 4. So in this first photograph, it just shows something that was posted regarding additional outlets installed in the residence, so that in conjunction with renting it out, people coming through just not have to fight over outlets to charge phones and different types of items. This photograph displays, again, renovations within the homes, the before and afters. Again, the elevation of the structure. This photograph displays kitchen renovations and again a wall that was removed. I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence exhibit number 2, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you. So we'll need your name and address again, please.
Yes, Carly Ruff, 3755 Beach Drive, Southeast, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33705.
Okay, so how long do you need to get a permit, an after-the-fact permit for the reno you did?
I would say 30 days. I actually have it partially filled out already with me right now. A lot of the things he mentioned, the outlets were actually already all there when I purchased the home last year. So we did not add any additional outlets, no new plumbing. It was all existing plumbing. And then the wall was non-load bearing wall, but I also got the permit after the fact permit.
Okay. Any questions?
I'll read something. 30
Okay.
days. Yep. Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the codes investigator have not been corrected. The board orders Carly Ruff and Michael J. Ruff to correct the violations within 30 days or by the date of April 25th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $150 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Alsaklas?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Henshaw?
Yes.
Wait?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes. All right, ma'am, you have 30 days to get your permit.
Okay, thank you.
Item 225, property owner Short River Investments LLC, investigator Zoraida Melendez.
Ready? Good afternoon. I am Zoraida Melendez, co-investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item 225, case number 24-15671 regarding property located at 1835 47th Street South. I was sworn in at the beginning of this meeting. This property is a single home, and I believe it's vacant. This is an internal complaint case. The property was first inspected on August 27, 2024, and violation notice sent to the owner with compliance date of October 25, 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March 18, 2025, and the following violations still exist. First, city building official structure is unfit, unsafe for human habitation into the requirement. Repairs are completed with permits and under the direction of a licensed design professional. 0 out of 1 violations have been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, sent certified mail, and it was posted at the violation address on March 12, 2025, which is at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Ownership was confirmed in the official county record book 21696, page 1642. During the course of this investigation, I haven't had any contact with the owner. The department recommends 5 days and $250 per day thereafter not in compliance. Additional relevant facts in regards to this case. This property was damaged by a vehicle, and there was a permit, permit 24-110-2255 that expired, and there was no inspection. But as yesterday, the permit was reinstated on the 19th, and then yesterday they got an update inspection by the building department. So I would like to enter into evidence exhibit 1 photos which were taken on March 12, 2025, document 03-12-2561 on ZM, and I got 3 photos. So this is the front elevation. This is the wall that got inspected on yesterday, And we still had the stairs in disrepair, the poles under the awning, and also the awning as well. And this is another photo of the front elevation where you could see the stairs and the poles. And this picture is showing when the property was damaged. I would like to enter this fact sheet into evidence exhibit 2, and this will conclude my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Melendez. Can you tell me again about the permit? The permit
So-
has been issued?
The permit expired and there was no progress inspection, but as of yesterday, they had the permit extended, it was reissued, and also they have one progress inspection. So now we just, and this case would have been removed, but I didn't know who was the owner, so I tried to find out who was the owner this morning, because I didn't have no contact with them. So, but now that we have at least one progress inspection, we just need to have these violations completed.
Okay, so does the permit cover the scope of the work, all of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does anybody else have questions for staff?
Do we need to hear this?
We need to.
Well, but
Well, yes, because they didn't talk to me prior to the hearing.
I was going to ask it a little different way. The city still considers this an unsafe structure because they haven't gotten anything back officially from an inspection that says it's not.
The only inspection that's been done is just a sheathing inspection. There hasn't been any inspections on the framing or that exterior wall at this
Right.
point in time. So,
So-
I mean, we believe that they're on their way. So, you know, I mean, obviously you can take testimony from the property owners, but just providing some additional time to get some inspections completed, and then we would start deferring on our side to the active permit once we see some other inspections completed.
I guess, you know, when you guys talk about unsafe structures, it kind of puts it in a different ballgame.
Right.
So that's how it's been presented. It's an unsafe structure. You guys are recommending 5 days. That's still your recommendation, is what
Yes.
I'm hearing.
Right, and that's going to be standard for any of the cases where the building official's making that determination. Obviously, you saw the conditions when we first cited this, right?
Right.
There's been other work that's been completed since then to make those repairs, but only one inspection that came in just yesterday. And from what I can see, it didn't have anything to do with the framing or the structural integrity of the.
So back to my original question, you still consider it an unsafe situation?
Yeah, at this point, but I mean, obviously they have their permits in place, they're progressing with work. It's not one of those situations where the house still looks the way you saw it when the car hit it and they haven't done anything. But from a consistency standpoint, that's how we categorize this type of violation. We're going to make the same recommendation just to make sure we're consistent based on what the case is.
Okay, thank you.
And you want to keep your eye on it too, to make.
Correct, yeah, just to make sure it continues moving forward, yeah. Because we've seen other ones where one inspection gets done and then sits for a while, right?
And I just want to reinstate, the reason that this case was submitted to a hearing was because the permit expired and there was no inspections done.
Correct. I understand. Thank you.
So this was an internal complaint between the homeowners or for the city going out
The
and?
city going out.
Yeah, we were notified, either PD or fire, that a vehicle had struck the structure. That's how we were notified. So because it came from an internal city department, that's how we categorize it.
Okay.
Got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Could you please state your names and addresses for the record?
Yep. My name is Vincent Chow. My address is 50 Christopher Columbus Drive, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07302.
Okay, and your connection to Short River? And
I'm one of the owners.
And you, sir?
Good afternoon, Steve Tran with EXL Legal. I'm an attorney at the firm. I represent the first lien holder, Lima Capital One.
Okay, thank you. So, looks like a car hit the house,
Yes, I believe that was August last year.
and nobody's living in this building?
The tenant left due to the car hitting the house and causing it to become unfit, so we've already sort of rehomed her.
So it's vacant?
It is vacant.
Okay. Work is progressing on the house now?
Work is progressing on the house now. The contracting company we talked with notified that, similar to what the investigator said, that they are working on fixing the framing, the electrical, plumbing, and they're scheduling inspections with the city to make sure like that it'll be certified to be fit for habitation again.
Okay, and how much time do you think you're going to need to get this done?
When we first contacted the contracting company, they told us a quote of 4 months. I don't know how long they took into account in terms of the permit, because it took them about 3 months. They told us to get the permit. This is the first time I'm hearing about this permit expiring without inspection, so I'm hoping 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
Now, the permit's been reinstated.
Yes.
If you're aware.
Yes, and they are now working on the property.
Any other questions?
I'll read something.
Okay, thank you.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code as stated by the code's investigator have not been corrected. The board orders Short River Investments, LLC, to correct the violations within 45 days or by a date of May 10th, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $250 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Suckless?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Hanshaw?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes. All right, sir, the board has given you 45 days. Do the best you can to get it done. Do, out in the hallway after this hearing, talk to Ms. Melendez and trade contact information so you can keep her up to date with what's going on at the house, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Next case, please.
Item number 1, property owner Blaise Baquet and Sean Baquet, investigator Anthony Rivers.
I'm Anthony Rivers, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item number 1, case number 24-12788, regarding property located at 6174 3rd Avenue South. I was sworn in at this meeting. The property is a single-family structure and is occupied by tenants. This is a C-Click Fix case. The property was first inspected on July the 24th of 2024. And a violation notice sent to the owner with a compliance date of September the 12th of 2024. The property was last re-inspected on March the 19th of 2025, and the violation that was cited was for advertisement and rental of a property for transient accommodations within the NT2 zoning district, and or in other words, short-term rental. So 0 out of 1 violation has been corrected since this case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail and posted at City Hall, sent certified mail and posted at the violation address on March the 11th of 2025. Ownership is confirmed in County Official Records, Book 22161, page 643. During the course of my investigation, I've had no contact with the owner. The department recommends 10 days and $200 per day thereafter for noncompliance. Additional relevant facts regarding this case include the fact that our record check shows that now the rental calendar or lease calendar now displays a minimum stay of 30 days or 30 nights, and this review does not indicate a review of the listing and advertisement does show and indicate a stay in December of 2024 at that resident, which is after the compliance date that we gave of September the 12th of 2024. I'd like to enter into evidence as exhibit number 1, photographs which were taken of the property as well as the listing and calendar and so forth. So here's the front of the short-term rental property. And here is our listing for the property in question. So here's a calendar that, again, now shows a minimum of 30 nights there at the top left-hand corner.
Chair, I'll step in on this one because I look at these as they start coming up. This is one, I know Mr. Rivers indicated 30 days, but it looks like there's two different months in April and June where there was availability less than a monthly term. One was for like 18 days and the other one was for 15. Sometimes it's just a Airbnb calendar type of issue that they can work out with the platform because it does look like there was 30 nights on others, but then there's these two rogue months that kind of have that availability for less than a monthly term. Sorry, Anthony.
No, thank you. And then our last photo here is going to, again, this one is the reviews. And you'll notice at the top left-hand corner, a review of found in December, made in December 2024, which again is after the compliance date of September the 12th of 2024. So I'd like to enter this fact sheet into evidence as exhibit number 2, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions of staff?
Just one. Mr. Rivers, any need or any ask around proof of cancellations?
Not that we've received so far.
Okay, thanks.
All right, sir, could you give us your name and address for the record?
Blaze Backey, 6174 3rd Avenue South, St. Petersburg, 33707.
Okay, do you live at this property?
Yes, I live at the property as well. I mean, when it's not rented. Otherwise, I stay with my girlfriend. I'm in the process of building an ADU on the property, so that will eventually be my living space. I bought the house a couple years ago with the understanding that if I had an ADU on the property long term, that I could short-term rental the house as well. When I did receive this complaint, I did cancel several reservations, and I sent an email. I have proof of the email I sent directly to Anthony that showed my cancellations. I did leave a booking in December. As you can see, if you cancel so many reservations on Airbnb, it hurts your rating and reviews and all that too. And as far as I understand, there's allowed, you're allowed a couple of reservations under the 30-day mark. So I have changed the 30-day strategy. I canceled those reservations, and so yeah, I'm happy to proceed. However,
And the bookings for April and May?
I have one monthly booking. That's it.
You made a
April and May are 30-day bookings?
Yes, everything going forward. My calendar doesn't allow you to book anything, less than 30 days, and I only have one booking right now in April.
And then you made a comment that you are under the impression if you build an ADU, then you can go back to doing short-term rentals?
That was what I had read in the bylaws, that the rules didn't apply to me if I was living on the premises in an ADU.
Yeah, that's actually
That's
not.
not-
That's why I asked.
That's what the real estate person. It told me they had pulled it out of the bylaws. Maybe they've changed since then.
No, it's never been there. So
Okay.
That's why I wanted to.
Just to let you know, you'll most likely.
Yeah, you'll fall right back to being in front of us if you do go back to short-term
Okay.
rentals, whether they have an ADU on there or not.
Okay.
It's not zoned for it.
Okay.
Not zoned for short-term rentals.
And
Just an FYI for you.
Okay.
even after this case is resolved, they will continue to check.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, you might want to, if you have any short-term rentals, you might want to just to cover yourselves, show proof of cancellation to Mr. Rivers and just stay in touch with him.
Okay. Yeah, we can chat after this. I can
read it.
forward him the email I had from before.
Okay.
Based upon the evidence presented in this case, I move that the board issue the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. The board finds that the violations of the St. Petersburg City Code, as stated by the codes investigator, have not been corrected. The board orders Blaze Bakey and Sean Bakey to correct the violations within 5 days or by March 31st, 2025. If this order is not complied with, a fine of $250 per day shall be imposed.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Seckless?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Henshaw?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes. All right, sir. 5 days to get that proof of cancellations over to Mr. Rivers again.
Okay.
You might reference your earlier email. It might have gotten lost in his daily.
No, I know, everyone's busy, so I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Chair, just to confirm, again, we've seen this with some of the platforms where if you don't have, like, let's say somebody booked 45 days, right, from the middle of April until the end of June, the other 15 days automatically becomes available as a potential to book it. And for some reason, it does not cut it off requiring a 30-day minimum, but Airbnb can fix that for them. So we just want to make sure that that's addressed as well.
And that was going to be my next statement. You do want to go into the mechanics of Airbnb and make sure that your listings are showing the way they should.
Yep,
Okay.
that 30 days, yep. Understand.
Thank you.
Item number 15, property owner Icarus Services LLC, investigator, building demo coordinator.
Before we start, I have this as removed.
Oh, 28 was removed?
Removed
15.
permits.
15 is, it's red on our sheets.
That was the previous version. It's
Probably just been when she made copies.
okay. The previous version has been updated. This one is still good to be heard.
Okay,
Just thought I'd check.
Sorry, the time we made the
apologize.
copies.
that's okay. Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Robert Hicks, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying in reference to item 15, case 24-9467, regarding property located at 4950 First Avenue North. I was sworn in at the start of this meeting. The property is a single-family structure and is vacant. This is a codes-initiated case. The property was first inspected on 5/31 of 2024, and a violation notice was sent to the owner on 7/1 of 2024. The property was last re-inspected on the 3/22 of 2025, and the following violation still exists. Per city building official, fire damaged structure is unfit, unsafe for habitation and use. Electrical service meter has been pulled. The building and electric permit require to repair the fire damage prior to occupancy. A design professional's evaluation and analyst that establishes the structural adequacy of the structure post-fire will be required to be submitted to the building department. 0 out of 1 violations have been corrected since the case began. Notice of hearing was sent first-class mail, posted at City Hall, and sent certified mail. Also was posted at the property address on 3/12 of 2025. Ownership was confirmed in County Official Records, Book 20686, page 2376. The department recommends 5 days and $250 per day thereafter for noncompliance. I would like to enter into evidence Exhibit 1, photographs which were taken on 3/13 of 2025, document CEB MAR 2025, and that's just the front